GearNetwork.com.
Take two of the pre-show, everybody. Yes, this is take two. That actually, it's more like take 4 or 5 this time. We're on a race against time, apparently, with my computer here, Don.
Race against time.
A race against time, you know what I mean?
Super exciting.
There's, like, things that are just happening here. Like, okay, for those of you that are frequent listeners of the Better Live Than Dead podcast, you know of the very legendary audio problems that they have there in the Wolf Den Studios. Well, not to be outdone, I guess. Here in the Gear Network Studios, we encounter very similar issues. We use the same software. So we were having some issues with that with the first pre-show, which was
garbage. That was the best pre-show ever.
Yeah, the best pre-show ever. The problem is that they couldn't hear the best part of you, which was you the entire time. So, but now my computer's updating a bunch of crap. I don't know what's going on. So again, race against time. But hello everyone, this is JC from JCDC, and we are on our pre-show, and I would like to take the opportunity to thank all of you listeners from all over the world. Guten Tag, Munich, Germany, by the way. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you all for shopping our Amazon and helping us out. It is the easiest way to help out this podcast and every other podcast on this network, up to and including the forthcoming House Party podcast with Mark House. He's going to be debuting in the next week or two, I believe. So that's pretty cool. I've been talking with him about it. It's going to be a very nice change. Whereas Talking Wrestling is a once a month special or whatever, his isn't every week. It's going to cater to you guys in the wrestling demographic that I sort of left behind when I left Talking Wrestling. So I hope you enjoy it. Mark hopes you enjoy it. It's going to be a good time. And again, you can support that and every other podcast on this network. Again, GearNetwork.com. That's GERE Network.com/Amazon. Shop, save the link, bookmark it, share it with everybody. Helps us out, and we do appreciate it. Dawn, are you ready to roll?
Let's roll.
Ready to roll?
I just said let's roll.
I can't hear good.
Stop making a big deal about it. Just roll.
Making a big deal about it. Okay, I'm rolling. All right, roll. Roll. This is a Gear Network production.
Sick? What? Just, I had a lot of diarrhea. That's what you want to know?
Your manager said you were sick.
Yeah, I had a lot of diarrhea.
No.
Feel better tonight.
Yeah, I had a diarrhea and then... Why? Why, it's funny?
No.
I mean...
He thinks
Save it. Yeah, the off day, I had a lot of diarrhea, so, and I feel afraid. So like yesterday, I got flu too, a lot of cough, and then just chest hurt, and feel dehydrated, something like that.
Coming to you live from the Gear Network studios in Rochester, New York, and broadcast worldwide on GearNetwork.com. This is Get Ready America.
You know, it's always funny being shown things that you've done a while ago. I just got reposted, I guess, online, the last Pier 6 wrestling show that I did, where I did some commentary, and we're making fun of the two students that are in there, and just completely going out of character and laughing hysterically on some of the mishaps. It was quite funny. I do enjoy seeing stuff like that. How you doing?
I'm great.
All right, we are. Not only was Chan Ho Park talking about diarrhea, ladies and gentlemen, as a reason for his loss a few years ago when he was pitching for the Yankees, but you are hearing right now some Michael Jackson music that has been unreleased. Don't ask how I got it. It's a secret.
I'm sure.
It's that bootleg. Uh-oh. Thank you, YouTube. From coast to coast, continent to continent, and border to border, from China to Canada. Hello, Canada. Don says hello to you, I assure you. Konnichiwa, Japan. Hello, Guten Tag, Germany. I don't know what you guys say in South Korea, but hello to you too. And of course, to everybody here in the States, this is Get Ready America, and this is GearNetwork.com. Hello everyone, JCDC here with you. Dawn, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
And we already hit up on the Amazon. Let me tell you a little bit about FanDuel. Dawn, let me ask you this. How's your fantasy baseball season going?
I don't have a fantasy baseball team.
What? And why would that be?
Because I just can't do it all year long. It's too much for me.
Too difficult for you to do it?
It is.
Well, you know what? What if I told you I had a solution for you? For people like you, people like me, who are just impatient and we want our money now.
Well, I can't wait to hear it.
Well, if you go to GearNetwork.com and click on the FanDuel banner, that's right, you can join up on day-long fantasy baseball leagues. That's right. Sign up in the morning. You get paid that night after the game is over. If you win, it is instant cash. You could be like Ronald from... I don't know where exactly this is, but somewhere in South Carolina, who managed to turn $3 into $30,000 in over a week.
Come on.
$3 into 30. This is according to the FanDuel website. I looked at that earlier. $3 into $30,000 in over a week. Will you get that lucky? You'll never know unless you give it a try. And if you give it a try, go through our site, please, and click the banner. It helps us out as well as helping yourself out. Get your money, give us a little something, and have some fun. All right, on today's show, we have a couple of things we want to talk about. The main one being that it just actually broke this morning. It wasn't even original news or anything. And I don't know if you want to wait till your news segment or if you want to have a discussion about it in the beginning. We can, I guess, talk about that. But it's Los Angeles is upping their minimum wage I think they said by the end of 2020 to $15 an hour is going to be their minimum wage. That, not very... I'll share my feelings on that. I'm sure you will as well, Dawn. As well... Maybe some Deflategate talk, because everybody else is talking about it. Why not talk about it? The New England Patriots and Tom Brady, did the punishment fit the crime? A Jets fan and a Dolphins fan will tell you how we feel about that. In addition, I've been cast for a local play here. I can touch a little. If I could talk here, I'll touch up a little bit about that, just a little bit, because details are still a little sketchy at the moment. And then Dawn's news we may or may not be able to use. So an action-packed, fun, swashbuckling hour or so of fun that we will have, Dawn. Let's kick it off. Do you want to go to the story, the minimum wage story?
Sure. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way.
Okay. So today, I actually saw it on the Book of Faces and then on the Twitter. The city of Los Angeles, which, for those of you that are not privy, is in California. And they are going to be upping their minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, we do know that there's been a push from America's food workers, you burger flippers at McDonald's and everything, that feel they deserve at least $15 an hour to do their jobs. And there is their point. There are several counterpoints, which I happen to agree with, one of which being that do they really deserve it for doing the job that they don't really do a lot of them don't really do very well. So I asked Dawn to kind of look into this because I wasn't really able to, at the time, get a little information on it. So Dawn, I'm going to turn it over to you if you wouldn't mind just sharing your findings, and then we'll go from there.
I mean, just to talk on the facts of it, they are talking. They did vote on it. It did pass. The LA minimum wage is going to increase up to $15 by 2020. That actually goes a little bit every single year. Is the way they're doing it. So it'll be $10.50. By July 2016, $12 by 2017, $13.25 by 2018, $14.25 by 2019, and $15 by 2020. And actually, small businesses that have less than 25 employees will have an extra year to implement all these changes. First off, I'm kind of surprised that LA has such a low minimum wage, to be honest, because the cost of living there is, I don't know. I mean, it's got to rival that of New York City. I mean,
yes,
gotta,
it's very expensive to live there. Not that I've been looking or anything.
But I mean, that's the facts. That's how it breaks down.
Okay.
Now, obviously there's a lot of questions that go into that. One of the big concerns that they're talking about is, will it push small businesses out of LA? Are they going to now have to go elsewhere because they can't afford to pay their workers $15 an hour?
Right. That's one of the major drawbacks here. You're talking about small businesses. You're talking about people that don't have, dare say, the power of the brand behind them. The Walmart, the McDonald's, the Burger King, the companies that can pay $15 an hour but choose not to. I mean, you're talking about like convenient food store or,
I mean, it's just another way that they're shutting the doors on these small mom and pop kind of businesses. I mean, little boutique stores, those kind of stores that I personally love to shop at. You just don't find them much anymore, and that's why. I mean, aside from the fact that they have a difficult time competing with the price of, the cheap crap that's going to break in 2 days that Walmart sells.
Right.
Now they have to battle this as well. And then, of course, the other big concern that I'm sure most everybody thinks is, why is that now, or why would you think that is then not going to spiral down and cause the price of everything to then increase to follow the wage increases? Because that's how it's going to work.
Right, that's exactly how it's going to work. I mean, look at history. I've always said this in every avenue of life that I have ever been in, is those that do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. So you've got these, and I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, because you've got the dare say the biggest population of people that are in those kind of jobs, the McDonald's jobs, the Walmart jobs. A lot of them are unqualified for higher positions in major corporations or things like that. Whether it's circumstantial, whether it's choice, regardless, there are a lot of people that are taking these jobs, that are doing these jobs, whether they're high school dropouts or, maybe they can't get a job right away or whatever.
Okay,
but
let's just, because it's going to bring some heat by you saying that. So let's just
I'm a heat
air
seeker,
this
and
out,
that.
Okay? First off, jobs like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, those jobs are designed to be worked by high school and sometimes college kids. That's what those jobs are. Those are jobs that are designed to be worked by a high school kid looking to make some extra income,
right,
as well as, a retiree who's just looking to make some extra income, those kind of things. It's to offset. It is not, I repeat, it is not designed for you to support your family on. That is not what these jobs are.
Right.
So I apologize to everybody who has these jobs and is trying to support their family, but that's not what these are. And you need to figure out your life, because you're never going to support your family working at McDonald's, and that is not the fault of McDonald's. That is the fault of you.
Okay. You see, you're bringing. You see, you countered the wrestling shooting side of me, because I was just going to shoot off and just say what I'm feeling, and you broke it down with such elegance, so I thank you for that. But yeah, you are absolutely right with that. It is not a career. You're not going to buy a new Bentley and get a pool in your backyard and get a house out in Penfield because you work at McDonald's. You're not. Unless you're with somebody that is making a ton of money, and then you're just working there just to kind of kill time. But the plain and simple fact of the matter is the discussions, the main discussions that I'm seeing on Facebook, on Twitter, on comments on CNN and things like this or whatever, is people that are college educated that are having a difficult time finding jobs, but are finding them, that are starting them at $14 or $15 an hour.
Right.
You mean to tell me that those people who have put in the time, broken their back, and are up to their neck in debt with student loans and things like that, that are qualified for the position that they have, or that they get, are being started at a wage that would be comparable to someone that's with all due respect, lazy and doesn't want to do, wants to be a career McDonald's burger flipper.
Yes, but of course what's going to happen is all wages are going to be increased because they can't pay McDonald's $15 and expect to pay, somebody who's working at that now $15 an hour entry level career type job, right? Mm-hmm. The same amount. So now that's going to bounce up to $19 an hour. And so then those $19 an hour jobs are going to go up, and it's just going to, it's going to go up through because there's no other way. Mm-hmm. Nobody would take a $15 an hour job busting their ass taking calls for Verizon. Mm-hmm. Well, somebody's flipping burgers at McDonald's, getting your order wrong at the drive-thru, making $15 an hour,
exactly,
so they can go piss on your food before they hand it to you. Exactly. And I mean, it's going to be a major debate, but you're absolutely right. That's what's going to happen, and ultimately, what's going to be the end result is the exact same position that we are in right now with the wage differences, because, like you said, with higher wage increases comes that effect where the $15 base career now becomes a $19 or $20 base career, and then your $3.50 gallon of milk now becomes $5 a gallon of milk because, hey, everybody can afford it. So perhaps what makes more sense, and where our government, in my opinion, fails us, and I have two things. One, instead of raising minimum wage all the time and trying to figure out how to get people more money, maybe they should figure out how to lower prices. Mm-hmm. Because that's what really should happen. Instead of jacking up taxes, house pricing going up, interest rates going up. Mm-hmm. I mean, just countless. Every time you turn around, milk went up, beef went up, this. Nobody can afford to eat anything but processed crap and Kool-Aid in their house. Mm-hmm. So perhaps they should look at that problem instead of thinking, you know what, let's make the solution $15 an hour so then everything can be raised up. The second and the biggest, in my opinion, fault that our government has is the education system, because I truly believe that college should not cost what college costs.
No,
and
it
it's
shouldn't.
Disgusting.
No, it shouldn't.
Even MCC or state universities, SUNY schools to us locally, those should not cost what they do. And I'll go on a limb to say that really they probably should be free, just like you pay for people to go through high school, because you cannot get a job anymore, even with an associate's degree, sometimes even a bachelor's degree.
Right. You're
coming out making $12 an hour.
Absolutely.
So the fact that you graduated high school is meaningless now. It doesn't matter.
Right. And again, that's what separates. I don't want to say it separates the adults from the children, but it's going to be a debate. It's going to be a big debate, and once this LA thing passes, other states, other cities are going to want to buy into it because of the hype and the stigma behind, well, it's increase in pay, well, not factoring in the other things. So
right, but it sounds great to voters.
Right, it absolutely sounds great to voters. So, hey, come 2016 presidential election, whether you're voting for whoever on the Democrat or Republican side, I guarantee you that's going to be the big ticket for one of them, if not both parties.
Probably both.
We'll raise minimum wage. Yeah, vote for me. Suck it. All right. Dawn, good talk with that. That was a very good talk. We are going to go ahead and hit our first commercial break, and when we come back, I got cast for a role in a play.
Talk about you.
Let's talk about me, baby. Let's talk about me and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the great things about me. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about me when we come back.
You're listening to Get Ready America on the Gear Radio Network.
This podcast is sponsored by Peanut Network.com/Amazon. Help keep my podcast free. Stop through Amazon. We thank you. Good night now.
Okay, listeners, so you hear us talking all the time about visiting the website for all of the podcast or Amazon shopping needs, but you are often not on your desktop to bring up the browser and visit. You ask us for a better way to take gear with you, and now we have that for you. Introducing the Gear Network app. Take the power of the Gear Network with you wherever you go. Listen or download all Gear Network programming, including Better Live Than Dead, Get Ready America, The JC Money Show Uncensored, Talking Wrestling, and others. You can also shop Amazon, post on our wall, follow our favorite local sports teams, and access all our social network profiles and so much more. And best of all, it's free. Zip, zilch, cost you nada. Visit GearNetwork.com on your phone's browser and click on the banner to download the app to your Android device. iOS people, don't fret. Yours is coming soon. Give it a download and take us with you wherever, okay? Okay, that's GearNetwork.com's app through GearNetwork.com.
From the Gear Network studios, once again, here's John and Dawn.
Welcome back to Get Ready America, everybody. JCDC here with you, here on the Gear Radio Network. Actually, before I go ahead and talk about the, make a little mention of the small play that I was graciously given a role on here, Deflategate was something I wanted to talk about. So, for those of you who have not heard ad nauseum for the past 2 weeks now at this point about what happened here with Deflategate, let me break it down for you. At the AFC Championship game between the New England Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts this past season, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots were accused of deflating the footballs to lower than regulation. The idea behind that was that it was going to be easier to grip, easier to throw in the cold weather, or whatever the case was. Obviously, the Patriots went on to win the game by a very, very large margin, which makes me believe that the Colts really would have lost either way, in my honest opinion. But having said that, Patriots went on to win the Super Bowl, and now 2-3 months later, the National Football League, they hired an independent agency to do an investigation. What the independent investigation found was that not only did the Patriots do this act, but Tom Brady himself, the quarterback of the New England Patriots, was aware of this, aware of what had been happening, so Commissioner Goodell dropped the hammer on them. The consequences include a $1 million fine to the Patriots organization, a loss of 2 draft picks, their first rounder in the next year's draft pick, and another in 2017. And as well, quarterback Tom Brady has been suspended for 4 games, the first 4 games of the NFL season. So he would not be returning until week 6, because week 4 is a bye. So games 1, 2, 3, and week 5, he would be suspended. His first game back would be Sunday night, ironically enough, against the Colts. Tom Brady has appealed his suspension, and a lot of people are now making mention of how, does this taint Tom Brady's legacy? Does this, taint the New England Patriots legacy? That could be debated on and on and on and on and on. Personally, to me, and mind you, I am the biggest Jets fan that I know, and I am not a big Patriots fan at all. I don't think it taints Tom Brady's legacy. I don't. Now, does the punishment fit the crime? That's the thing that seems to be going back and forth. You hear sports analysts debate left and right. Well, I think Tom Brady should have got 8 games. I think Tom Brady should have got 10 games. I think he should have been suspended the whole season for lying. I think that, this. Then you've got some on the other side that are like, well, this is really, yes, they got caught, but it's just deflating footballs. It's not like they were spraying stickum on the hand to try and catch it.
It's not like last time they cheated.
Right. It's not like last time they cheated. They had a camera to steal defensive signals, so they knew that, which they didn't get hammered.
But cheating is cheating.
Cheating is cheating. But does the punishment, Dawn, fit the crime?
No, it doesn't. And I say that because it's not harsh enough. And you know who's going to be mad that I'm saying this?
Who?
Patriots fans.
Of course.
Nobody but Patriots fans. They're the only ones who are coming up mad about this, actually up in arms, so upset over this, like they can't believe it. Everybody else, no matter where they fall on sides, is not up in arms upset trying to defend the Patriots and whether or not this actually happened. I just want to point that out.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this here. Do I think the punishment fit the crime? No. I don't think the punishment fit the crime because, okay, you suspend Tom Brady for 4 games. Okay, I can get that. I can totally get that. You fine the Patriots organization $1 million, which to them is probably chump change, but still, who likes to give money up, whether when you have it or not? I think the addition of the 2 draft picks might have been a little much. I don't really know what the draft pick this year, or rather next year, and the year after is really going to have to do with this when you take into account that by that point in time, you don't know if Belichick will have retired, you don't know if Brady will have retired, if it, so I don't agree with them taking away the draft picks.
Right. I personally just think that's pointless. It's just something we threw in because they're like, oh, what else can we do? Let's throw this shit in.
Right. Tom Brady being suspended 4 games, look it. If he lied, I say if because he's planning on fighting it. Okay, if he's gonna fight this, if he is innocent and he did not do anything and he did no wrong, he's gonna fight this. I would think he would go as far as he can go, fighting this, kind of like Roger Clemens did. He took it to court, and he won. He took it as far as he could go, and he won. Whether it's whether it changes the court of public opinion, that's beyond me. But I would think at this point now, with Tom Brady being very adamant that he did not put this in motion, that he did not know of any wrongdoing, that he's going to fight this, he's already appealed the suspension. I would think that now at this point, do you think he has to go the distance?
Oh, he does.
And he has to go and fight it as long as possible, because if he were to do like Robert Kraft just did yesterday and say, we reluctantly accept what the National Football League has thrown on us, we're going to pay the fine, we're going to give up the draft picks, if Tom Brady were to come back and say, you know what, I'm just going to accept the two games that the NFL Players Association bargained down, or I'm just going to accept the 4 games, that essentially would be an admission of guilt, wouldn't you think?
I don't necessarily think it would be an admission of guilt under normal circumstances. What is problematic for him is how holier than thou he's acted throughout the whole thing, like aghast. He can't believe these accusations against him. So now he has to fight it the whole time, because if he doesn't, then he looks like an idiot. Then he does look like a liar. Whereas for a normal person who would have acted as a normal person would, I think he could have said that, and it would have been it wouldn't have had the same level of height that this does. But the way he acted about the whole thing and continues to act about the whole thing, he absolutely has to fight it to the end.
Now, do you think that if this were, I don't want to say Geno Smith, because in the New York market it could get blown up, but do you think that if this were David Carr of the Oakland Raiders or Phillip Rivers in San Diego, do you think that this would have been as magnified with those guys?
No.
Do you think this is because it's Tom Brady?
Right, it's Tom Brady and it's the Patriots, and no matter what Tom Brady does, it gets a lot of press. So, I mean, that is what it is. I mean, that's like saying if it happened to Peyton Manning. If it happened to Peyton Manning, then it would be the same level.
Right.
But, I mean, you're talking about, the Patriots and Tom Brady, and of course that's going to draw more. I mean, there's people who don't even follow football who are heated up in this discussion because it's Tom Brady and the Patriots. So, no, I don't think it would be the same.
All right, so actually 2 questions here. First, Tom Brady, does this situation here taint his Hall of Fame legacy?
Well, does it, or do I think it should?
I guess a little from column A, a little from column B. It's not because, we know Pro Football Hall of Fame voters are not necessarily like baseball Hall of Fame voters.
Right,
where baseball Hall of Fame voters are like, oh, Roger Clemens, even though he took it all the way and he won, he still was mentioned in there. We can't put him in. We're not putting him in. Barry Lamar Bonds, nope, sorry. Rafael Palmeiro, finger wag, I don't think so. That's how Baseball Hall of Fame does this. Football has not really had...
Well, clearly, I mean, you have murderers, rapists and felons, and I mean...
Well, mind you, this is... those, in defense of them, they were not inducted after the situation happened.
I'm just saying, it's not the same thing. You don't see the same things in baseball that you do in football. Baseball is, like it or not, a classier sport. Right. It just is. So... Right.
Their biggest problem is steroids. If you look at the NFL in the past year, you had a child abuser, domestic violence, and now you've got deflated footballs.
Nobody's even talking about steroids because that's the least of their problems right now is whether or not somebody's doing steroids. Are you kidding me? They're worried about whether they're doing cocaine all the time.
Right. I gotta say that I'm a little disappointed. I guess the punishment, the punishment for deflating footballs seemed to me to be a lot greater than the punishment Ray Rice received.
Okay, well, first, let me answer your question, okay?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So, do I think that it's going to change anything for him or taint anything or hurt his chances? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to matter. I think it should. Mm-hmm. I think just like you see a baseball player with an asterisk or a team with an asterisk next to you, that is what should happen here. I also want to bring up, and this is a whole nother, topic of unfair punishment, but Penn State had their titles ripped from them.
Oh, with Joe Paterno, right?
With Joe Paterno. Right, for something that wasn't cheating. It was an outside situation that happened that didn't even pertain to the football game.
He unfortunately, after the fact, when they found that Joe Paterno was not in the know or whatever, he was free and clear of all that crap, they restored all of that, though.
Right.
But
great,
that's it. But it's a different league and a different policy.
But I'm just saying that's what they did, right? Mm-hmm. But here they cheated in a game that got them into the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So if you really want to know my true feelings, I think that Super Bowl win should be taken from them. That's what I really think. I do think they would have won the game either way, but they still cheated to win it. Therefore, that should not be considered a win. Had they not won that, they wouldn't have gone to the Super Bowl. So therefore, they shouldn't have that Super Bowl championship. And I know that seems extreme, but they cheated. And you can't cheat to win. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. And what they're showing everybody is that cheaters can in fact win and did.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
And all right. Secondly, your boy Ryan Tannehill on your Miami Dolphins just got a contract extension, 6 years, up to $90-something million. He is clearly the second best quarterback in the AFC East. Does this 4-game suspension of Tom Brady, whether it is, let's just say it's upheld, does this benefit the Dolphins? Can the Dolphins start off strong, considering that they did actually build a pretty solid team around Tannehill? And for those that say Tannehill is not really a good quarterback, he's improved every year. He has started every game in his career. Okay, so that's 3 years 3 or 4 years as a starter, 16 games each. And last year he threw for over 4,000 yards and 27 touchdowns. So he's definitely improving. He's not a great quarterback, but he's not a bad one. So do you think this is going to help your Dolphins?
Yes, I think it's going to benefit all of the teams in that division. Obviously, not having him in there gives them a better shot, I guess. But keep in
mind, Buffalo's headed for the Super Bowl now.
Yeah, I know. Of course, we've already heard that. I do think that, yes, it does benefit all the teams. And yes, it does benefit Miami. As much as I dislike the Patriots because I think they're a dirty team, similar to my dislike of the Red Sox because I think they're a dirty team, they're a good team. So is this going to make the difference of whether or not they're going to get wins? I don't know, because they're still a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Tom Brady's a great quarterback, but it's not like Tom Brady's all that team has going for him either.
Right.
So, we'll see what happens. But yes, it's a benefit.
My bold prediction as we head to a commercial break, the Jimmy Garoppolo era will begin. It will begin. I think the Patriots open 4-0 under Jimmy Garoppolo. I think I laugh hysterically because the Bills are game 2, and Bills fans are like, yeah, we're not playing Tom Brady. We're going to roll him. We're going to Super Bowl. And I would just be, and you will see me rooting, and I love Rex Ryan. I'll always love Rex Ryan. You will see me rooting for the Patriots that game.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Because I would love to see it if Jimmy Garoppolo slapped around the Bills just to silence Bills fans. And then I'll go back to hating the Patriots. But I think it would be funny. But bold prediction, Jimmy Garoppolo starts 4-0. He ends up doing really well. They keep him in. And we see a Brett Favre-like move with Tom Brady.
Right. I mean, you're not talking about a team that has every single one of their wins is really thanks to their quarterback, so to speak, as they say.
Right.
It's just they're a good team all around. They're
right.
a solid team.
It's a great system. It's a system that made Matt Castle, who's the starting quarterback for the Bills now, it's a system that made Matt Castle an 11-game winner when Tom Brady went down in 2007. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Get Ready America on the Gear Radio Network.
So out of my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Perez here, telling you about FanDuel's one-day fantasy baseball leagues. Every day you pick the player you want, you can pick a whole team and play for real money against other users. FanDuel has over 20,000 one-day leagues, so joining in is never an issue. Also, there's no daily commitment, so you play whenever you want. The best part? Over $2 million in prizes every single day. And if you sign up through GearNetwork.com/FanDuel, you help support the network and keep this podcast free.
Hey, Dawn, how's it going?
Living the dream. I'm actually just getting ready to do this commercial.
Oh, you mean the commercial where I tell our listeners to tune into Gear Network every week to listen to our show, Get Ready America, that one?
Yeah, John, that's the one.
They can also listen to us talk about news, sports, whatever's on our minds, that.
And a little of what's on our listeners' minds, but they're just too nice to say it.
Well, that, Dawn, is a real humdinger. Come join us this and every week for Get Ready America exclusively on the Gear Radio Network.
And the Gear Network app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm Ryan Wolf.
it's Mr. Perez.
And I have a question for you, Perez.
What's your question?
Do you like to listen to people talk about sports?
No. Of course I like sports and listening to people talk about sports.
Well, guess what? I have the perfect solution for you.
Solution for me?
There's a podcast
Okay.
on this very network.
This network?
Every single week you can hear it.
Really?
New content, latest and breaking news. We talk about baseball, football, hockey, basketball, soccer, UFC, whatever you want to talk about.
So sports in general.
They talk about sports in general. You got
Okay.
it.
I like
you
it.
know the dictionary.
I like
very,
it.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
I must say, tune in. We are better live than dead.
You're not.
Every single week. You're not going to want to miss it. Exclusively here on the Gear Radio Network.
From the Gear Network studios, once again, here's John and Dawn.
Bring back Crystal Pepsi! Woo! Right?
No.
Why not?
Because nobody cares. I am surprised there's even billboards for this. I had no idea that people actually liked Crystal Pepsi and cared about it. And if enough people liked Crystal Pepsi, it would still be around. Obviously, enough people didn't buy it.
I think
because they were buying 7-Up.
I have to be honest with you. I don't think those billboards are legit. I think they're photoshopped.
Let's hope.
So most likely
It's
they
so
are.
stupid.
All right. Before we go ahead and get into Dawn's news, we may or may not be able to use. We are on a time crunch. I know I was going to talk a little bit about the play that I was cast And basically, long story short, I'll go with this. In February, there was an audition locally for the Rochester Latino Theater Community, I believe it's called, for The Elaborate Entrance of Chad Diety, which is a wrestling-based play. I auditioned for the part of the Mace, who is essentially the lead character. He's a smaller wrestler that puts over the bigger-bodied wrestlers. He's, a good worker, wants his opportunity, doesn't really get it because of the bigger-bodied wrestlers. Again, we just mentioned that. After a couple of months, I got called. I got offered the role. We're in limbo right now, so I have no idea when the actual stage readings are going to happen at this point. They were supposed to happen, I believe, last week, but they ran into a little bit of a problem. But either way, hopefully it actually goes through, and I can get you a little more information on that, and I could be performing in front of people in a completely different capacity, somewhat, than I did when I was in the ring performing. Okay, so that's that in a nutshell.
Do you think maybe it'll happen in a fortnight?
Fortnite.
Fortnite?
Oh, I just remembered what that is now. Thank you, Urban Dictionary. All right, Dawn's news we may or may not be able to use, mixed with some useless facts, perhaps. Take it away, Dawn.
Let me just start with a Florida story, because I feel like it's been a while since we did a Florida story.
Oh, please,
Surprisingly, right?
Yes. What'd you do now, Florida?
This takes place on a beach.
Oh.
On a nice warm day.
Okay.
The beach is crowded.
You're setting the scene.
Kids playing in the ocean,
Okay.
building sandcastles.
All right.
Older people with their big straw hats and long sleeve shirts sitting in their beach chairs.
Okay, that's comforting.
Mom's laying out. Dad's
out.
drinking beer.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds like a
A
very
couple
peaceful
having
place.
sex for 25 minutes in the middle of a crowded beach.
Oh, okay.
Makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Sure.
So, yes, a couple actually got arrested. They had sex on a crowded beach full of children
Oh,
and, of course, other people. But, little kids there for 25 minutes.
for 25 minutes.
The more surprising thing to me than this couple having sex on the beach is that it went on for 25 minutes. Because I can guarantee you, if I was at that beach and those people were doing that, it would not have gone on for 25 minutes. So how did nobody go stop these people?
Well,
Like full-on naked sex.
so it wasn't even like discreet, like under a
No.
blanket type thing. It was just right out in the open.
Yes.
Birthday suit on birthday suit in front
Yes.
of everybody. For 25 minutes?
25 minutes.
That's pretty impressive. I gotta say, to do that for that length of time in that crowded scene,
And nobody stopped.
and nobody stopped them. Were
don't
people
get
maybe
that.
people were scared too, or maybe they were
what?
maybe they were watching. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you'd be watching.
I don't know.
Anyways, now the guy's facing 15 years.
What about the girl?
Well, the girl also obviously is facing some trouble, but this is her first time being arrested, where he actually was convicted and served, I don't know if it was jail or prison time, because I don't know the previous crime, so this is a second
Okay.
issue for him,
Got
so
you.
he's now facing longer.
Okay. Dumbass.
They actually recently did
I gotta say, I love how you set the scene for that entire story.
a scientist from a company called Quest Diagnostics swabbed some beards. Did you see this story?
I did not.
Okay. So he swabbed beards because, there's a big debate. People think beards are dirty, and then some people love beards, whatever. So they swabbed beards, much as they do toilets and hotel beds and things like that, and they tested it. And they found that the large majority of beards that they swabbed were actually as dirty or more dirty than toilets.
Really?
Yes. So, it's gross. And beards kind of gross me out. There's some that I've seen where you can tell that the people actually groom them and clean them.
Are you
And I can deal with
me?
that. Well, you don't really have the long.
Yeah, no, okay. I don't know.
But the people have the really long ones. But then there's some you see and they're just dirty. Not to mention, it looks like freaking pubic hair on your face, which is really what grosses me out, to be honest. Is that it looks like you got pubic hair on your face. So if you want women to keep it groomed down there, you should keep it groomed up there, because we don't want that in our face any more than you want that in your face. Moving on.
Duly noted.
A woman apparently was very jealous of her man's ex.
Okay. Okay.
Her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
For those who are slow like John and
Yes.
can't follow what I just said. So much so that the ex-girlfriend passed away, and the woman went and actually sliced the corpse's face.
Are you kidding me?
Cut off a bunch of her hair in the funeral home.
In front of people.
Right. They actually called the police and had her arrested. Family members said that they saw the woman with her hands in the casket. So upon further investigation, they found that she had slashed her face because they saw makeup was smeared. And then, of course, discovered the slash on the face and the cut hair. So as they're actually preparing now the body to be cremated after the funeral, they further discover that this woman has also cut off a toe
Jesus.
and both breasts from the corpse.
Okay. I would give you the cut on the face.
You would give
No. Follow me here.
That's normal.
Follow me here. That not being discovered until after the fact. But I mean, for that, for all of that to take place, you mean to tell me not one person saw one little bit of commotion that they would have stopped them?
Yeah,
I mean,
it didn't all take place during the funeral. It wasn't like during the funeral she went up or the wake and did all this. So to me, and there's not, of course, all the details released because they never do release all those, but what I get from the story is that she snuck into the funeral home and did this, in between the time that they prepared the body, for the funeral and the time that they cremated her. So, obviously she's not going to bleed all over.
Right.
So...
But that's just sick, though. Like, I mean, seriously.
That is a special level of sick.
That takes jealousy to a whole
I don't even
new
understand.
level.
Like, she's dead. So there's really what... I just don't understand it. But this comes to you from Oklahoma.
Oh,
So,
thank you, Oklahoma.
Right.
Woo! Boomer Sooner, baby!
Crazy. Really crazy.
Wow.
So, John, did you know that Texas is the only state allowed to fly its flag at the same height as the U.S. flag?
No, I was not aware of that.
They are the only state.
Way to go, Tejas.
And on average, people fear spiders more than they do death. They are more afraid of spiders than they are of dying.
Are you more afraid of spiders than death?
No.
Our daughter is.
But if I saw a big enough spider, I would definitely change my answer. But since we live in New York, I'm going to go with no, except for the spiders, which kill me. And then that kind of ties into the whole death thing, right?
Oh, so, okay, well, what about, like, big-ass spiders like that movie?
But we don't have big-ass spiders here, so I don't have to worry about that.
Big-ass spiders was such a horrible movie.
What do you think one of the top 5 most shoplifted items from a drugstore would be?
From a drugstore, I'm going to guess condoms.
That may be one of the top 5, but it's not the top 5 on my list.
Oh, okay.
The one on my list is actually Preparation H, which is a medication for hemorrhoids. So apparently you people are too embarrassed to buy Preparation H for your hemorrhoids.
Oh, God, help us, baby Jesus, help us. I have terrible, awful hemorrhoids. I need to go to Walgreens and get some Preparation H, God damn it.
I really think it's gotta be that they're too embarrassed to buy it. So they have to shoplift
So they have to
right?
shoplift it. Like, okay. I mean, really, like, you're going to go there, you're going to buy it, or you're just going to shoplift and hope that you don't get caught, because if you get caught, you end up going to jail, and it's going to be even more embarrassing, because when it comes out...
you don't go to jail for shoplifting.
Well, you get held overnight.
Not usually.
No?
No.
Well, what do they do?
Yeah, they take you down to the station, they write it all up, and then they send you on your way.
Oh, see,
with a court date or whatever.
I mean, well,
and
I don't mean like jail, like But I meant like overnight. Like
Well, I think the only way you would get held overnight is if like courts were closed and couldn't process you through or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But, and then, here's a random fact for you Guinness drinkers out there.
Uh-oh. Eric Emanon and Xavier Fate, we're looking at you.
Bubbles in Guinness sink to the bottom rather than float to the top. It's the only beer that the bubbles actually go to the bottom instead of float to the top, and no one knows why. No one has been able to discover the reason why the bubbles sink to the bottom instead of float to the top.
Okay, Eric, do me a favor and post on your Facebook, why do Guinness bubbles sink to the bottom instead of float to the top? And let's see if one of your people that's on the Facebook, just like that foot fetish guy that Dawn wants to interview again, can answer that.
And can you post a picture of a cup of Guinness so I can actually see if the bubbles are on the bottom rather than the top? Or just tell me.
I'll just go get a pint of Guinness and like the create your own six-pack at Wegmans. I'll just grab one of those and then we can do it for ourselves right here live on the show. Just pour it and see.
Boy, that would be interesting.
Oh, it'd be just a real humdinger of a time, won't it, Dawn?
A humdinger. Do you know what a fortnight is?
No, Dawn, I don't. Please tell me.
A fortnight is 14 days.
All right. Good talk, Dawn. All right.
I found that interesting. I've heard fortnight, and I did not know what it was.
See, I thought it was like some rap group or something.
No.
I'm painfully out of touch with pop culture nowadays.
It's not pop culture. It's a British term.
British terms. Cue the music. All right. We finally got one.
I know. Well, we've been crazy busy.
Crazy
just
busy.
So you know, I mean, it's not like it just every day is just jam-packed with stuff to do.
Yes.
It's insanely.
Yes, we will definitely do better in the weeks to come. There may be some outdoor podcasts by the fire and stuff like that, you know. So we've got some good things in store. Please be patient with us. Our May was just much more busier than we even thought was possible. So, but thank you for tuning in. Dawn, thank you as always for your contributions, your news, and your research for the opening story. That was very, very wondrous. And
Thank you, Canada.
Thank you, Canada. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is a copyrighted podcast of the Gear Radio Networks, and any rebroadcast or reproduction without the express written permission of the Gear Radio Network is strictly prohibited. Dawn, do you have anything else for the audience here?
Nope.
All right, well then, she's got nothing. I've got nothing. Shop Amazon. Tune in to Better Alive Than Dead this weekend. Tune in to Talking Wrestling whenever I do that again. The House Party Podcast coming soon. So long, everybody.
Good night now.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.